Long ago and far away, there was a girl called Vasilisa. Sometimes she was called Vasilisa the Wise or Vasilisa the Brave. She was never called Vasilisa the Sad, even though her mother died when she was just 8 years old. Of course, she was sad about her mother's passing, but she had fond memories of her too. Before she died, Vasilisa's mother called her daughter to her bedside and placed a little doll into Vasilisa's hands. "Take good care of this little doll," she said, "and she will take good care of you." On the day her mother died, despite her tears, Vasilisa remembered to care for the doll. She saved a few crumbs of cake that day and, in the evening, brought them to bed with her along with a glass of tea. She placed her doll on her pillow, gave her the treat and a sip of tea. She told the doll her troubles, ending with the question, little doll, what shall I do?" It seemed as if the doll's entire face lit up. It was as though she spoke and said just as her mother had always said, "Don't be afraid, Vasilisa. Be comforted. Say thy prayers and go to sleep. The morning is wiser than the evening." And it was as true for Vasilisa as it is for me. Things never seem as bad in the morning as they do in the evening. So, every day, Vasilisa would save some bread or a few raisins and bring them with a glass of tea to her bed. There she fed her doll and told her all her troubles, ending with the question, little doll, what shall I do?" And every night it was as if her mother spoke. "Do not be afraid, Vasilisa. Be comforted. Say thy prayers and go to sleep. The morning is wiser than the evening." Talking to the doll like this comforted Vasilisa and gave her courage. Even when her father found a new mother for her, who was not her mother. Even when this woman gave her the worst of all the chores. Even when this woman sent her to fetch a flame for their fire, and Vasilisa had to walk all alone through the forest, with its creaking trees and dark shadows. Vasilisa held tight to her little doll and found strength. Even when she arrived in the forest clearing at Baba Yaga's hut, which stood on chicken legs and was surrounded by a fence made of skull and bones. Even when the horrid Baba Yaga appeared, cackling and spitting and scary as can be. Even when the horrid Baba Yaga told Vasilisa that if she wanted the flame her stepmother had sent her to fetch, she must do endless chores, cleaning the house and the yard and making dinner too. Even when the horrid Baba Yaga demanded that, on top of the usual sorts of chores, Vasilisa had to do impossible things like sorting the chaff from the wheat and the dirt from the poppy seeds. When Baba Yaga left her alone, Vasilisa cared for her little doll, told her all her troubles, and said, little doll, what shall I do?" The little doll reminded Vasilisa not to be afraid, and that the morning is wiser than the evening. It was true, and the chores did get done. Baba Yaga was unhappy that Vasilisa managed to do all the impossible tasks. Yet Baba Yaga kept her promises and gave Vasilisa the flame her stepmother wanted. She was only too eager to do so, for she could tell that Vasilisa's strength came from her mother's blessing, and this was not something that Baba Yaga liked to be near. When Vasilisa left, she carried the new flame with her. It allowed her to see the forest with new eyes. She realized it was not dangerous, and she was no longer afraid. When she came to the other side of the forest, she saw by the same light that her stepmother's house was not Vasilisa's home, and never could be. She walked right past it. She walked on until at last she came to the home of another woman, one who welcomed Vasilisa to live with her. This woman encouraged her to care for her doll and taught her the skills needed to find fortune and happiness. Still, every day Vasilisa saved some bread or a few raisins and brought them with a glass of tea to her bed. There she fed her doll. Now she had as many joys as she had troubles to whisper to her doll. This story may seem strange. It may not seem true. The part I believe is that Vasilisa's little ritual helped her. My question for you today is this: what are some of your personal rituals that have helped you through challenging times? Share your answer at coffee hour or with family and friends this week.